Let us begin with a simple truth. There is no castle in Europe quite like Leap Castle. It is not the largest. It is not the oldest. It is not the most beautiful. But it is, without any doubt, the most haunted. This is not a matter of opinion. It is a matter of record. It is a matter of centuries of terror. It is a matter of countless witnesses. They all agree. They all felt the same dread. They all saw the same things.
They all ran away in the end. Some of them never fully recovered. Some of them still have nightmares. Some of them refuse to speak of it at all. That is the power of Leap Castle. That is its dark and terrible gift. It gives you a glimpse of the other side, and that glimpse never leaves you. It stays with you forever. It haunts you long after you have left. That is why it deserves the title. That is why no...
Let us now explore its history. Let us go back to the beginning. The castle was built in the early 1200s. The O'Bannon clan built it. They were fierce warriors. They were also deeply superstitious. They chose the site carefully. They knew the land was strange. They knew it had old powers. They built their fortress anyway. They thought they could control it. They were wrong. The castle changed them. It made them cruel. It made them paranoid. It made them kill their own kin. Then the O'Carrolls took over. They were even worse. They were ruthless beyond measure. They were cunning beyond belief. They turned the castle into a slaughterhouse. They turned it into a tomb. They turned it into a permanent home for the dead. And the dead never left. They are still there today. They are waiting for you. They are waiting for anyone foolish enough to enter. Let us talk about the Bloody Chapel. It is the most notorious room in the castle. It is not a chapel in the holy sense. It is a chapel of death. It is a chapel of betrayal. It is a chapel of eternal damnation. The O'Carrolls used it for executions. They would invite their enemies to dinner. They would invite their own brothers. They would invite their own cousins. They would seat them at a long table. They would serve them fine food. They would serve them expensive wine. They would let them eat and drink. They would let them feel safe. Then they would strike. They would slit their throats. They would crush their skulls. They would stab them in the back. They would do it while they were still chewing. They would do it while they were still smiling. The blood would spill across the floor. The blood would soak into the stone. The blood would never fully wash away. You can still see the stains today. They are dark and old. They are faint, but unmistakable. They are a reminder of what happened there. The most famous murder was in 1532. The chieftain was Mulrooney O'Carroll. He was a jealous man. He was a paranoid man. He was a deeply twisted man. He had a brother named Thaddeus. Thaddeus was a priest. Thaddeus was popular with the people. Mulrooney hated that. Mulrooney feared that. He feared his brother would take power. He decided to solve the problem permanently. He invited Thaddeus to celebrate Mass. Thaddeus agreed. He trusted his brother. He should not have trusted him. He walked into the chapel with confidence. He walked up to the altar. He raised his hands in prayer. He turned his back to the congregation. He exposed his spine to his brother. Mulrooney drew his sword. He walked up behind Thaddeus. He drove the blade into his back.
He drove it through his spine. He drove it into his heart. Thaddeus died instantly. He died without a scream. He died without a final prayer. He died with his blood on the altar. That was the ultimate blasphemy. That was the ultimate sin. That was the crime that
He is still in that chapel. He is still wearing his priestly robes. He is still tall and gaunt. He is still rotting and decaying. He still has that look of agony on his face. He still raises his hands in defense. He still tries to ward off the blow. But the blow never comes. It never will come. It has already happened. It happened 500 years ago. And yet he relives it forever. That is his curse. That is his eternal punishment. Visitors see him all the time. They see him in the chapel at night. They see him in the corridors at dawn. They see him standing at the foot of their beds. They see him and they scream. They scream and they run. They run, but they cannot escape. He follows them in their minds. He follows them in their dreams. He follows them for the rest of their lives. That is only the beginning. That is only one ghost. There is the entity they call it. It is the most terrifying of all. It is not a human ghost. It is something else entirely. It is something ancient and evil. It is something that grew from the bloodshed. It is a creature of pure malice. It smells like rotting meat. It makes a wet, rasping sound. It lives in the deepest dungeons. It comes out when you are scared. It comes out when you are alone. It comes out when you least expect it. It has attacked many people. It has scratched them. It feeds on their fear. It grows stronger with each victim. It is impossible to escape. It is impossible to reason with. It is impossible to destroy. It is simply there. It has always been there. It will always be there. That is the horror of Leap Castle. That is the horror that awaits you. But wait, there is more. There is the lake. She fell from a high window. Some say she was pushed. Some say she jumped. Some say she slipped in terror. Her dress was white and beautiful. It is now torn and blood-stained. Her hair is long and dark. It covers her face completely. She drifts through the hallways silently. She weeps without making a sound. She seems sad. She scratches them in their sleep. She pulls their hair violently. She leaves marks on their faces. She is jealous of their happiness. She wants them to suffer. She wants them to feel her pain. That is her curse. That is her eternal rage. Then there is the warrior on the battlements. He is tall and dark-haired. He is dressed in ancient armor. He appears only during thunderstorms. He shouts commands in a dead language.
He gestures wildly at the horizon. He is fighting a forgotten battle. He died 600 years ago, but he does not know it. He still thinks he is alive. He still thinks he can win. His war cries echo through the night. They blend with the thunder. They blend with the howling wind. They are terrifying and beautiful. They are sad and pointless. They are a reminder of futility. They are a reminder of endless cycles. And there is the little girl. She is only 7 or 8. She carries a tattered doll. She wanders the upper corridors. She weeps softly and alone. She is lost and terrified. She does not understand what happened. She does not understand why she is there. She is the most heartbreaking of all. She looks harmless. She seems to need help. But do not approach her. Do not try to comfort her. If you get too close, she vanishes. She disappears with a shrill scream. That scream echoes for minutes. That scream pierces your soul. That scream stays with you forever. It is a sound you cannot forget. It is a sound you cannot unhear. It is the sound of pure despair. So you see, the castle is full of ghosts. They are everywhere you look. They are everywhere you do not look. They are in every room. They are in every corridor. They are in every shadow. They are in every creaking floorboard. They are in every gust of cold air. They are in every sudden drop in temperature. They are in every unexplained noise. They are in every fleeting movement. They are in your peripheral vision. They are always watching you. They are always waiting for you. They will never let you rest. They will never let you forget. They will haunt you until the end of your days. That is the promise of Leap Castle. That is the curse of Leap Castle. That is why it is the most haunted place in Europe. But do not take my word for it. Take the word of the witnesses. They are numerous and critical. They are ordinary people like you. They came as tourists and skeptics. They left as believers and victims. Their stories are consistent and detailed. Their stories are corroborated by others. Their stories are documented in countless books. Their stories are recorded on video and audio. Their stories are studied by paranormal researchers. Their stories are analyzed by psychologists. Their stories are dismissed by the closed-minded. But they cannot be dismissed entirely. They cannot be explained away. They cannot be forgotten or ignored. They keep happening. They keep piling up. They keep defying all rational explanation. Consider the case of the Irish journalist. He visited the castle in 1976. He was a hard-nosed reporter. He did not believe in ghosts. He laughed at the very idea.
He walked through the castle with a tape recorder. He walked through the dungeons with a flashlight. He walked into the bloody chapel alone. He walked out 10 minutes later. He was pale and trembling.
He was covered in cold sweat. He could not speak for an hour. When he finally spoke, he said this. He said he saw the priest. He said the priest walked toward him. He said the priest reached out and touched him. He said the touch was ice cold. He said it felt like death itself. He said he felt his heart stop. He said he felt his soul leave his body. He said he ran for his life. He said he ran without looking back. He said he never wanted to go back. He said he never wanted to think about it again. But he could not stop thinking about it. He wrote about it years later. He wrote about it in his memoir. He said it changed everything for him. He said it destroyed his skepticism. He said it taught him a terrible lesson. He said the dead are not dead. He said the dead are angry and vengeful. He said the dead are waiting for us all. And he was not the only one. There was the British ghost hunter. He came with a team of experts. They brought all the latest technology. They brought infrared cameras. They brought motion detectors. They brought electromagnetic field meters. They brought voice recorders and thermal sensors. They thought they were prepared. They thought they were professional. They were arrogant and confident. They entered the castle with smiles. They left the castle with tears. Their equipment malfunctioned repeatedly. Their batteries died instantly. Their screens went blank without warning. Their recordings captured unintelligible whispers. Their recordings captured growls and screams. Their recordings captured voices that were not their own. One of them was thrown across the room. He flew 10 feet through the air. He landed hard on the stone floor. He broke his wrist and 2 ribs. He could not explain what happened. He said it felt like a giant hand. He said it grabbed him by the chest. He said it lifted him with ease. He said it tossed him like a rag doll. He said he saw no one. He said he felt everything. He said he would never go back. He said he would never do this again. He quit ghost hunting that very day. He sold all his equipment. He burned all his notes. He tried to forget the whole thing, but he could not forget. He still wakes up screaming. He still feels that hand on his chest. He still feels that cold grip in his dreams. That is the power of Leap Castle. That is the reality of Leap Castle. And then there is the current owner. His name is Sean Ryan. He bought the castle in the 1990s. He wanted to restore it. He wanted to bring it back to life. He did not believe in ghosts at first. He was a practical man. He was a builder and a craftsman. He thought the stories were exaggerated. He thought the legends were nonsense. He thought he could ignore them. He was wrong. He was very, very wrong. He has seen the priest. He has seen the lady in white. He has seen the little girl. He has seen the warrior on the battlements. He has seen it in the dungeons. He has been touched, scratched, and bitten. He has been thrown across rooms. He has been pinned to his bed. He has been woken at 3 a.m. He has been stared at by hollow eyes. He has been whispered to in dead languages. He has been terrorized beyond belief.
He has been haunted every single day, and yet he stays. He stays because he owns it. He stays because he is stubborn. He stays because he feels a duty. He stays because he has accepted the truth. He says the castle is alive. He says it has a mind of its own. He says it feeds on human emotion. He says it chooses who to frighten. He says it knows your weaknesses. He says it uses them against you. He says the ghosts are not just memories. He says they are active and intelligent. He says they are malevolent and purposeful. He says they are not going anywhere. He says they will never leave. He says they cannot be exorcised. He says they are part of the castle now. He says they are part of its very fabric. He says they are part of its stones and mortar. He says they are part of its soul. He says trying to banish them would be futile. He says trying to banish them would be dangerous. He says they would only fight back harder. He says they would only become more violent. He says the only way is to live with them. He says the only way is to respect them. He says the only way is to accept them. That is his wisdom. That is his hard-earned peace. But not everyone can do that. Not everyone has his courage.
Not everyone has his resilience. Most people run away. Most people never come back. Most people are forever changed. So what makes Leap Castle so special? What makes it different from the others? There are many haunted castles in Europe. There is the Tower of London. It has headless queens and crying princesses. There is Bran Castle in Romania. It has Vlad the Impaler and dark legends. There is Chateau de Brissac in France.
It has the Green Lady and her tragic story. There is Glamis Castle in Scotland. It has the monster and the hidden room. There is Hauska Castle in Czechia. It has the hole to hell itself. They are all impressive. They are all terrifying. They are all fascinating. But they are not Leap Castle. They lack the sheer intensity. They lack the sheer consistency. They lack the sheer malevolence. They lack the physical violence. They lack the tangible, palpable, undeniable presence. Leap Castle has all of that. Leap Castle has more than that. Leap Castle has an atmosphere. It is an atmosphere of pure dread. It is an atmosphere of suffocating fear. It is an atmosphere of impending doom. You feel it the moment you arrive. You feel it in the air around you. You feel it in your chest. You feel it in your stomach. You feel it in your bones. It is heavy and oppressive.
It is dark and suffocating. It is inescapable and unbearable. It makes you want to leave. It makes you want to run. It makes you want to scream. And that is before you see anything. That is before you hear anything. That is before you feel anything. That is just the baseline. That is just the beginning. That is just the welcome. The real horror comes later. The real horror comes when you least expect it. It comes in the form of a cold touch. It comes in the form of a whispered name. It comes in the form of a shadow that moves. It comes in the form of a door that slams. It comes in the form of a scream in the distance. It comes in the form of a laugh in the dark.
It comes in 1,000 different ways. It comes again and again and again. It never stops. It never tires. It never relents. It is relentless and patient. It is cunning and clever. It is ancient and powerful. It is evil in its purest form. And that is why Leap Castle is the most haunted. That is why no other castle can compare.
That is why the title belongs to it alone. That is why the world agrees. That is why the stories persist. That is why the witnesses keep coming. That is why the cameras keep recording. That is why the researchers keep studying. That is why the skeptics keep converting. That is why the believers keep believing. It is a living nightmare. It is a waking dream. It is a portal to another world. It is a door that cannot be closed.
It is a wound that cannot be healed. It is a stain that cannot be cleaned. It is a curse that cannot be lifted. It is a horror that cannot be denied. It is Leap Castle. It is Ireland. It is Europe. It is the end of the world. It is the beginning of the afterlife. It is the place where the living and the dead collide. It is the place where the past and present merge. It is the place where time stands still.
It is the place where eternity is measured in screams. And you, dear reader, you must decide. You must decide whether to believe. You must decide whether to visit. You must decide whether to risk your sanity. You must decide whether to test your courage. You must decide whether to face your fears. But if you do go, do not say I did not warn you. Do not say I did not tell you. Do not say I did not explain. I have told you everything. I have laid it all bare. I have shown you the truth. Now the choice is yours. Now the responsibility is yours. Now the consequences are yours. Go if you dare. Run if you can. Scream if you must. Pray if you believe. Hope if you have any left. But know this above all else. Leap Castle is waiting for you. It has always been waiting for you. It has been waiting for centuries. It has been waiting because time does not matter there. Because death does not matter there. Because fear is the only currency. Because terror is the only language. Because horror is the only reality. That is the truth of Leap Castle. That is the... It will haunt you. It will haunt you forever.